Welcome to Tony's Ferrari. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it looks like to own a Ferrari, at least when you've just purchased it and everything isn't perfect. And we've been on the internet looking around and can't find any videos that actually show you how to do the nightmarish job of changing the alternator, oh god, the alternator on this thing in your own garage. So you don't have to pay no $2,000 to a Ferrari dealership or one of those guys to do it, because it is a nightmare, but it's a nightmare. So we're going to show you what we believe to be a nightmare. Starting off with, got to disconnect the battery. So there's the battery. That's my way of disconnecting it. I rest the cable gently on a pillow. Alright, next we've removed the inner fender well. That's it right there. Or what do you call that thing that covers the inner fender well? Okay. And that is just a few bolts that come up and around here, around there, like on the fender well. Okay, so the next thing is, and again, you got to get the thing jacked all the way up on jack stands. There's my brother. See, he can actually get under there and see stuff. And the only reason he don't have safety glasses on is because he's got big glasses like me. That pretty much,
they are safety.
And they are safety glasses. And for those of you wondering where the actual culprit is, there he is, back there. You see where there's a shining light from the darkness? In the way back there, it's like a hobbit's journey to Mordor. I don't know. But look at this big old pipe here, right here. Well, this is for the cooling system, and from what we've read, this pipe's going to have to come down when this thing, maybe, oh, I'm hearing hope from my brother. There's hope. Maybe that's what that light represents. At any rate, they were saying in all the videos, you got to turn this thing around, drain the coolant, dibbity-dibbity, take that, take this, do that to get to that thing. And then some guy says, just go from underneath. Pop it right out. I don't know. We're about to find out. Stay tuned for the next part of the video, where we'll show you whether or not you got a dibbity-dabbity or you can just pop it out. Alright, this is Tony's Ferrari signing off till the next time, where we have more answers. See ya. Alright, so we got the first thing removed is the heat shield. And after the heat shield got removed, said you can see the back of the, see where the cables go, so that way you can determine if the cables are disconnected in any way from the back of it. Now we're going to, what are we doing next, brother? What cable?
To the alternator.
Oh, so you're going to disconnect the cables from the back of the alternator from behind the heat shield. And he's doing all that off the little rolly thingy. Creeper, as you call it, creeper. Okay. Doing that. Now, do we have to remove the air box and all that?
Hopefully no.
Hopefully that's a no. Because the other day we had all this stuff, well, I should say had all this out of there. Oh, and we forgot to get them clamps. Yeah, whatever. We'll get to it. Alright, so going back under here. Let's see if we can see from over here. Alright. Alright, folks. You can kind of see. It's got that cross member in the way.
And an exhaust pipe.
And an exhaust pipe, so he's having to go
Exhaust pipe right off from there.
all the way up in there. He's working by feel.
It's too big. You smell it.
So, yeah, this ain't easy. Who said this? Whoever said this is a nightmare? Well, here it is. Not easy. There's limited amount of space, but if you're willing to get under there, try to goink around. Question is, will it come out of this little hole, or do we have to drop the coolant pipe to get the actual alternator out? We shall see. So based on the time, we're probably, I should say my brother's probably an hour and a half in. About an hour, you think? Okay, about an actual hour. And in the course of an hour's time, again, a recap. Take off the under fender well cover after you've jacked it up and after you've disconnected the battery. After you get that off, there's a heat shield. That's got to come off. After the heat shield, he's going after the bolts, I'm guessing. The bolts that are on the back side in the very back corner where they politely put this wonderful alternator. And if you can get to those bolts off, it's already disconnected the cables, which he was able to view after the heat shield. Then the big question is, as Brother Don put it, the $1,000 question is, will you be able to drop the alternator direct down between the frame and all the stuff back in there, muffler, everything, or do you have to move this coolant bar to slide it over and out? We shall see. Well, folks, we've answered the $1 million question. And the answer is yes, you do have to move the drain or the coolant system pipe, that one right there, to get the alternator out. And when I tell you he's looked every way but Sunday to do it, we have. So there's no other way. So you got to take that thing down, and there's a place to drain the antifreeze out just below. So right now that's what we're doing. We're getting ready to drain out some antifreeze so we can let that pipe down so we can slide out the alternator. Then going to have it rebuilt. Bring it back, slide it back in the same way. Put everything back together. So the $64,000 million question has been answered. Yes, it's a pain in the ass to do this. As you can see, there goes the antifreeze. You all right?
Yeah, it's hateful antifreeze.
I don't like it either. It looks like the car's peeing. Little pee monkey. All right, tune in. Getting ready to pull this thing out. So one of the other bolts that helps the mounting bracket of the alternator was like jamming it on the corner. And so this is the bolt that came out right here. Had to pull that out. That was way in there, and it's one of the mounting bolts. So that came out. And it's close. It's like it is right there trying to come out. As you can see, it's still a tight fit. Look at that. He's right there on the end of it. Oh my God. It's like it doesn't want to go between. Got it right there, and it's like sticking against the center. Oh, I don't know. It's got a mind of its own. That's where it's at right now, trying to get out of that little space in there. And so we continue with how to get the alternator changed. And it's been dropped off. Lance's Electric up in Titusville. I'm headed up there to go pick it up. He called, said it's ready for pickup. $100. And we'll have it back here for install tomorrow. So we're going to get after it tomorrow morning, get this thing installed, which will mean, I'll show you then, quite a bit of the engine got dug out in order to get this thing out. At the end of the day, again, we had to jack the engine up to create just enough space to squeeze this damn thing out. So anyway, you don't want to change the alternator unless you've got an expert like I've got in my brother, Don Craig, who did an amazing job to get this thing out. The guy's just unbelievable. Anyway, I'll report in as soon as I get the rebuilt back. Talk to you then. Bye now. All right, folks, we're back here at the Ferrari with my brother Don. We're on the final phase. We're putting the alternator back in. So don't let anybody kid you. We had to, as you can see, we had to get under the motor, move the motor up.
Got a mouse in your pocket?
He had to move the motor up. And now we're trying to get it back in, as you can see, with the motor jacked up a little bit. It's a son of a you know what.
Universal Auto Parts.
Okay.
Probably your missing piece.
All right. So it looks like the speed sensor just showed up. God, I don't know how you got that fucker out of there. Oops.
I forgot how to get out there.
That's close right there.
Yeah, hitting the backside.
You're hitting the top right up there. Do I push up on the AC or something?
No, it don't go up any higher.
Well, as you folks can see, engine's jacked up. He got it out magically, but he performs magic on cars, so that's not unusual. Oh man, you got one little lip right there. Oh, you got it past that. That's how tough it is, folks, so don't kid yourself. This is one MFer to try to change. Anybody tells you otherwise, they're bullshitting you. I don't know how he got it out of there without dropping the engine, but he did. Alright, we'll come back when we get it in.
All I got is red. Now I'm going to put them studs back in with red.
So here we are, after the motor was jacked up, got the alternator back through that little tiny hole, and there it is, back in the corner. It's not mounted yet, but brother managed to get it out and in without dropping the engine. So it can be done, but it is a major, you better have somebody who knows their shit. You got to drop that radiator thing and all kinds of crap-a-moly. So we're on day 2? Day 2. And the rebuilt's back in there. So as you can see, the work continues. Got the alternator out, rebuilt, got it back in. Had to, my brother innovatively jacked up the engine, which created the extra ½ inch of space it needed to clear between the gas tank and the big rotor thing, crankshaft pulley. So you can get it out without dropping the engine, but what a major pain. And he had to figure this out on his own. No, there was no videos, nobody out there. Everybody out there is from back in like 2014, and the information you're getting is sketchy at best. So here's the real deal for you guys who want to get involved and get your own Ferrari and be able to work on it without paying thousands of dollars. So alternator, starter, water pump, stuff like that's all back up in there. And if you figure out what you're doing a little bit, if you're a mechanic, not like me, I ain't a mechanic. My brother right there, he's 49 years. He's been doing it, he kind of seen it all. So he got up under here and figured it all out. Anyway, this video is for you future Ferrari owners, 328 specifically. This is an 88, does not have ABS on it. That's why we got it. Don't like that ABS. Like to be able to brake and skid my own way. Anyway, the follow-up is once we get it, I should say once gets put together by my brother, I will fire it up. I'll show you how it runs from there. Till the next one. So, the crippity clamp that was holding the hose over here to keep the coolant from going out when we released the pipe, took that off. After, of course, putting the pipe, the radiator pipe right here, back in, tightening it down, then putting a strap here to make sure this coolant pipe stays off the pulley because it's really close. Another strap here to make sure this radiator pipe, which is like right next to the engine pulley right here, doesn't rub up into it. But it's all pretty tight. And my brother's down there. He's taking care of the heat shields. There were several. He took care of course, putting the back on the alternator. It had a piece that had to go on there that only little Italian fingers could do, but somehow he got his, look at those hands. He got those big old hands back in there. He got Gumby hands. But at any rate, what you folks are seeing is the final pieces of reassembly. You see the fender well over there, which after the heat shields are on, the fender well will be the last thing to go up in here. And then we're going to see how he likes driving it. Make sure that it's up to the Don Craig standards of excellence. All right, folks. How long would you say that took, bro? I mean, and if you had to put like mechanical hours of work on it, how many hours would you had to build for?
Well, since I haven't done one before, we're looking at about 9 hours. Put all there on.
Okay. So he's never done one before, but he dug into it, got it figured out. So 9 hours. So you should plan on, and that's not including the time to take the generator to have it rebuilt. That's another day. That's about it. But that's just to replace the alternator. So if you're going to buy one of these things, make sure that the alternator's in good shape. Make sure the air conditioning's working perfectly. If those two things are working real good, then if you get lucky like me, you'll get yourself a new motor on top of all of that. So good luck with that one. All right, signing off for now. This was the video from Tony's Ferrari with his brother Don, who does all the work. I just run my mouth. And a couple of do-it-yourselfers in the garage making it better. All right, folks, so now you have it. So if you're going to tackle this, now you really know the truth.